In a previous video, we discussed what reserves are. Those are the natural resources we have the capabilities of extracting right now at the present moment. But how about the resources that we have yet to find, or the ones that are not yet extractable? That's what this video will be talking about. And that has to do with something known as a natural resources occurrence. Therefore, an occurrence is the natural resource that's currently discovered, undiscovered, extractable, or we're not able to extract it yet. So, an occurrence can be categorized in three ways. The first one is, of course, our reserves. The second one is known as a hypothetical natural resource. And the third one is called a conditional resource. This video will be going more in depth into the differences between a hypothetical and a conditional resource and how they eventually can become reserves. Any natural resource that's currently unknown to us is known as a hypothetical resource. So once we have the technology to find it, we're going to realize that this newfound resource is either economic to extract or not economic to extract. Remember, the technology to find a natural resource is not the same as the ability and the technology to extract that resource. So once this hypothetical resource is found and we find out it's not economical, that becomes part of the conditional resource. However, if we discover it is economic to extract and we have the technology to extract it, that becomes part of the reserve now. Let's now discuss what a conditional resource is in a little bit more depth. Once a hypothetical resource is discovered, it's on its way to becoming a reserve. But how about we find out about this resource, but it's not economically viable to extract? Those are the resources that we would classify as a conditional resource. Before we said, technology is usually the reason why it's not economical to extract. However, what if we fast forward 100 years from now and actually had the technology to extract it? It may never ever be economical because it may be such low quality, or most importantly, social and political pressures are moving the direction into which natural resources we will be using. Therefore, even if we know about it and have the technology to extract it, if it's not economical, it will always be a conditional resource. In a previous video, we discussed about reserves and their ability to increase and decrease because the value is not static. Occurrences are also not static. However, since it accounts for the absolute max natural resources that we're able to find on Earth, it's only able to decrease. So as we discover new natural resources, and as those natural resources become reserves and eventually become extracted to be part of our stock, that causes the occurrence to decrease. In the next video, we will be bridging all the ideas discussed about natural resources in one large flowchart. It will be bridging the ideas of occurrence, reserves, and stock and flow to see how this all becomes a part of a natural resources life cycle.